What's up, guys? I'm out here this week talking to you about release techniques, how to build for yourself the most clean release that's going to allow you to be the most consistent and optimize your accuracy. So let's go. So when it comes to release hand, there may or may not be a more critical component to your shot process, in my opinion, just because your string is what is firing the arrow. And there's only one part of you that is in direct contact with that string, and it's your hand, your tab, glove, whatever, and your release hand. So there's so many variables that you can put into the shot just with these three fingers, right? You can pluck, so that means you're literally plucking the string. You're pulling it out to the side, and you can usually diagnose if you're plucking real bad. Me, I just seem to know instantly if I plucked, but for a less experienced shooter, what you'll notice is your impacts are going to be, if you're right-handed, if you're a right-handed shooter, you're going to see left impacts, because whenever you're pointed at the target and you're plucking your hand out this direction, you're pulling the string and the back side of the bow that way by plucking. And so it's going to cause a left impact. Left-handed shooters, you can duplicate that. So for a pluck, you're going to see right impacts. For collapses, you're going to see low left impacts. And the reason for that is, like I said, it's mostly just inconsistency. I do it from time to time myself, but it's usually once I start getting tired and I'm forcing myself to shoot past a point that I'm comfortable with, and I start getting those plucks where I'm just trying to kind of get rid of the shot. And that's when you realistically just need to stop shooting. It's time to hang it up for the day. But in order to alleviate that, you have to have some kind of consistent release. So learning how to consistently grip the string to where you're kind of putting most of the pressure on your pointer finger and your index finger, and holding it in the same place every time, and creating a direction of travel, which is the point that I'm going to be stressing on you in this video. Back tension is supposed to help this, right? That's where this conversation of back tension is really developed. For one, it helps you with a surprise release because it's a larger muscle group engaging that shot rather than you just letting go of the string. It's a little bit harder to force the shot whenever you're using that giant muscle group, like your scapula, to engage that shot, and you're not just reefing through it with your arm and your hand. You're actually engaging your whole shoulder muscle. And what that's supposed to do is it's also supposed to create linear travel of your hand, which means your hand comes straight back away from the string because it's following where your shoulder's going. My remedy is constant pressure. Your hand has to have a direction to travel. That force, you're creating a tension by opposing forces pulling against each other, right? You know, your bow arm's locked in on this side. I'm not a big fan of the whole push-pull thing. Your bow arm's locked out on this side, and you're pulling this weight back and holding this weight back and all this energy. That has to have somewhere to go. And by creating linear travel of your hand, for me, that that's the most effective way to break that release clean and allow that pressure to be released consistently. And the reason that that is you're holding back all that pressure, right? You're back here holding back all that pressure. And whenever you just decide to release it, you're having that mini explosion in your hands or right in front of your face, right? Of the string violently ripping back through and pushing that arrow out. If you're not creating some kind of consistent movement in order to get out of that string, the way of that string, in my opinion, you're going to have a little bit less clean release. So having even just the slightest bit of linear movement, I think it's really going to make a difference. So you have to give that direction of travel of your hand, that pressure, somewhere to go. That's why you hear me in my shot process doing the whole pull, pull, pull thing. Some people, it doesn't really work for them, but for me it works pretty well. I'm hit the back of my anchor and I'm pull, 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 and I am giving that pulling, that pressure that I've created, an outlet. I'm giving it somewhere to go, and that's just my hand sliding just a little bit back across my face, getting out of the way of that string. If you are having a tough time even with that, which no judgment, or release is a difficult thing to get down. I still struggle with it sometimes, especially after a long range day. A static release might be the best thing for you. And what I mean by a static release, I mean literally maybe just a little bit of rearward movement to give that pressure somewhere to go, that direction of travel of your arm, but just kind of letting go of the string. Just letting the string slip through your fingers and keeping your hand by your face. Watch videos of Dwayne Martin shooting bear bow, up on the podium or whatever. That guy has a fairly static release. He has a little bit of rearward movement, but it's not much. He's holding back and just kind of letting that string slip and dropping his hand out of the way and keeping that hand right against his face. Paul Schaefer, if any of you guys who've been in this game for a long time, probably even longer than I've been alive, you guys know who Paul Schaefer is. He was a huge proponent of keeping your hand by your face. He mentioned that, I think, a few different times, but namely in one interview with him and Barry Wenzel, he said, keep your hand by your face. And I think the reason he said that is because for a lot of people, that's going to be the way that you're going to get a consistent release. If you can't do something the same way every single time, you can keep your hand right by your face every single time and just let the string slip through your fingers. Don't just let go of the string, but just relaxing your hand and letting that string slip out of your fingers. So that's the long-winded explanation of why you, in my mind, it's best to create some kind of linear movement, because you need to give that pressure somewhere to go, that you're holding back all that weight. So why not just let that hand drift back across your face, straight back away from the bow, across your face. Let it just drift back a little bit, give that pressure somewhere to go, and get out of the way of the string that much quicker. That's what I've seen. That's what I've experienced to be the most accurate, but take it or leave it. It might not work for you. So I'm going to move the camera over here so you can get some close-ups of me shooting these couple different ways, and I'll slow it down so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So this first shot I'm going to take, this is just going to be me doing my normal shot, and you're going to see just a little bit of linear movement back across my face because I'm holding back all that pressure and I'm pulling. I'm just giving my hand somewhere to go. I'm just letting my hand follow suit, brush back slightly across my face, not some big expressive movement, just slide a little bit straight back across my face to get out of the way of that string. So that may seem like a lot of movement, but it's what feels natural. I'm not trying to force my hand back there, but with the amount of pressure I'm applying and pulling, I'm just kind of letting my arm go limp, if you will, after the shot breaks. and it just kind of ends up back there. I'm not trying to put it there. I'll shoot that one more time so you can see. Now I'll take a couple shots for you to see of a static release. And like I said, sometimes if I'm just having an off day, like, what the heck, why can I not get this right? Why am I getting left impacts? Why do I seem to be dropping my hand out of the way? Which sometimes I'll do when I get tired. I just kind of start dropping my hand down. And you'll start dragging your finger too, and you'll start tearing up the bottom of this ring finger whenever you do that, if you shoot, well, split finger or 3-under. I'll default back to that static release because I know I can at least do that every single time if I'm struggling as it is. So I'll show you the static release. And when I say static, static for me is you may still see just a little bit of travel back on my hand, but it's not much. It's pretty slight. So you saw I just kind of relaxed my hand and just let the string go, and kept where I could feel that knuckle still up against my face. So as you see, that's a lot more static release. That's if I have much movement back at all, it's little. But my hand stays right against my face, and ultimately, for me to feel like I'm doing it the same way every time, mentally I have to be feeling some kind of contact with my hand against my face once the shot's completely gone. So I'm stopping somewhere in here. I'm feeling hand up against my cheek. And for me, that's just static enough and repeatable enough that I can do it the same way every time. So I'm going to take one more shot of each. If I have enough arrows, it doesn't look like I'm going to, but I'll take one more shot with the static release, just so you can see what I'm talking about. And then I'll do one more natural. So that's all I got, guys. That's really all there is to it. It's just a matter of being consistent. Whatever it is you're doing, you have to do it the same way every time, if at all possible. If you're getting left impacts, right impacts, low right, low left, stuff like that, start diagnosing that release. And if you can implement some kind of rearward movement, you're already pulling all this weight backwards. Just give it somewhere to go. Let that hand just brush, even if it's just a little bit, just brush back across that face. Don't just let the string go. Let it slip through your fingers and just let your hand slide back. Like me, like I told you, my whole bottom part of my arm, it just kind of goes limp. I break the shot and it just kind of falls back where it wants to. I don't go back here. I don't trace around the back of my head and stuff like that. I just break the shot and let it come back where it wants to be. If you start doing that, implementing a consistent release where you're giving the pressure somewhere to go, the linear travel of your hand away from the string, and you're naturally getting out of its way, I promise you're going to be more accurate. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you for your views and support. Be sure to leave a comment, guys. Tear up the comment section, please. I love engaging with you all. That's one of my favorite things about this thing. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm on the road to 1,000 subs. It's so close, I can taste it. We're getting really close all the time. And if we can get to 1,000, I'll really be able to do a lot more with this platform. So if you'd share this channel, share it with your friends, family, whoever, all your hunting buddies, I would really appreciate it. Stay safe, shoot straight. I'll catch you next time.